With me now is Rahul Roy-Chaudury, who's a senior fellow at the International Institute for Strategic Studies. So we know in the last few moments this is an outright majority that we do have confirmed. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I mean, this is a stunning victory for the BJP. This is the first time in 30 years that any single party has been able to get an absolute majority in parliament. This essentially means that Modi now can rule and govern the country without the requirement of any allies if he chooses to do so, which also means that in terms of decision making, in terms of implementation, possibly to a certain extent, there will not be the pulls and pushes of coalition partners that we've seen in a negative term from the last 10 years, when the Congress party had alliance partners that it depended on for its ability to govern the country.
What are some of the first changes that you would expect to see as a result of this result?
I think from the campaign that Narendra Modi has been running and the BJP has been running, there are two key issues that he will be expected to look at first. The first one is the economy. There's been a clear sort of downslide in the Indian economy for the last few years. From about 9%, it's halved to about 4.5%. Related to this is the lack of business confidence, investor confidence in the country, and I think that will be key. The second issue will be on governance. There have been several allegations of corruption scandals in the last 10 years of the Congress government. There have been problems about how the Congress party has been able to govern or misgovern in certain areas. So I think this will be a second key issue for Narendra Modi to tackle. But they will not be easy issues. He still faces the second house of Parliament, the Rajya Sabha, where he does not have a majority in the Rajya Sabha. So even though decisions may be made quicker, the execution of the decisions could be slower if there is opposition against the BJP government from the Rajya Sabha. And also the states. There are several powerful states in India that are being run today by opposition figures. And there has been no love lost between Modi and the chief ministers of powerful states like Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. And the ability of Modi to deal with these states effectively, if he does want to see implementation on the ground on the economy and governance, is critical.
What does he do with relations with Islamabad?
You know, there's been a lot of rhetoric that has taken place during the election campaign. But what was most interesting is that most of this rhetoric came from other people and not Narendra Modi. There are two views on how Modi could deal with Islamabad. One view is that there could be an outreach that he could put to Islamabad, as a former Prime Minister of the BJP, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, did. The second view is that he could be tougher on Islamabad, as the general sense is. I think both views are wrong. Modi, who does not have he does not really have the experience on foreign policy and security issues that Vajpayee had, for example. For Modi, the priority will be the economy, governance issues, and for that he does require a stable neighborhood, a regional security environment that is stable for economic development and growth. So my own sense is that actually we could see a situation where economic incentives for trade and investment between the two countries, in the absence of any terror attack that takes place on India, that is something that could actually be useful for the management of the bilateral relationship.
And what of the Congress party now?
The Congress party has suffered its worst defeat in history. I was looking at the figures earlier from 1951 and the elections, and another time when the Congress did badly was in 1977, just after it declared emergency in the country. But the seats it got in 1977 were 3 times the seats that it has won today in this election. So this is the worst defeat for the Congress party. My own sense is that a lot of this is the Congress party's own making in the last 3 or 4 years. But the Congress will have to do some tremendous introspection on this issue. But maybe this is what they need to do for the next 5 years.
Just as a final line, Mr. Obama has invited the new Indian leader to visit Washington in a phone call to him, apparently. This after the visa restrictions issue has already been dealt with, the White House has said.
Yes, I mean, I think, foreign leaders will be keen to deal with Narendra Modi, and I expect Prime Minister David Cameron will as well. But Modi essentially will also deal with them on his own terms, and I think it's important to see what those terms may well be.
Thank you very much for coming in, Rahul Roy-Chaudury from the International Institute for Strategic Studies. Thank you very much.